Hey everyone, welcome to Full Val Mode. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the fallout between Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the Grassroots Revolt, and then AG Tim Griffin's epic optics failure. It's been a wild few days. Since Thursday, that article I dropped regarding the GOP civil war in Arkansas has hit over 37,000 views on Facebook alone. I've had podcast invitations coming in, my inbox is full, and apparently people are really wanting to talk about what's going on in Arkansas politics. Who would have thought? And I get it. Some of y'all are probably rolling your eyes right now, though, saying, oh, great, here she goes again. Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. Like Russia, 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 right? But here's the thing. The pattern is the point. And every time people say, we've already heard enough about this, something else surfaces that proves we haven't. Every time the headlines cool down, another ethical question hits the fan. For instance, now, longtime Senator Gary Stubblefield passed away in September this year. His sudden absence left roughly 86,000 residents of Arkansas District 26 without representation at the Capitol. And the governor announced that she wants the special election dates to be March 3rd, 2026, which is 6 months out, 6 months, and then November 3rd, which is a year of 2026 for the general election, pushing the contest more than a year out. Just a year. Critics immediately pointed out that Arkansas law generally envisions special elections within about 150 days of vacancy. That the long delay effectively silences a conservative rural district during an upcoming fiscal session heavy with budget decisions. And among those decisions, funding for the new Franklin County big, beautiful prison, her pet project, a project Stubblefield really opposed. He and I talked about that a couple of times. And it's one that's become a political flashpoint under Sanders' administration. The extended timeline means the district will go through an entire legislative cycle without a seated senator. No committee representation, no local advocate for appropriations, and no vote on major infrastructure or correctional funding. Supporters of the governor's decision say the later date aligns with a broader election calendar to save taxpayer money. Save taxpayer money. You want to not have someone to vote against your $750 million prison. Do you want to save taxpayer money on a vote, an election? To many in District 26, it looks less like efficiency and more like political convenience at their expense, of course. So tonight, I'm not here to beat a dead horse. I'm just here to give you new information that I've come across. It's just every day. Every day it's something. Again, it's like fighting the Democrats. It used to be that we did this with Democrats. Now we're not even paying attention to the Democrats because we're so worried about what the stupid governor's doing. So tonight I'm not here to beat the dead horse. I'm here to show you the bigger picture. The system that lets these things keep happening. The people in power don't care how things look. They're betting you've stopped caring altogether. So here's the thing about trust. Once it's gone, it's gone. Like, you can't spin your way back into credibility. You can't press release your way into redemption. The Arkansas Grassroots gave Sarah Huckabee Sanders the benefit of the doubt, and she burned it. Now, there's no glossy initiative. There's no polished speech she can give. There's no photo op that can patch that hole. Sure, she's still got some people that are in her camp that are going to be loyal to her. But they'll catch on. This isn't about disloyalty, anyway. It's about disappointment. The people of Arkansas that voted for her, they believed that she was one of them, not above them. And when that illusion cracked, it was over. She can't fix it. You can't fix it with slogans, not with scripture from her father, the other past governor, Huckabee. And you can't fix it with another bill that checks the law and order box while ignoring the voices that put her in office. Once the people see behind the curtain, they don't unsee it. Like, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And when the people of Arkansas have been begging to be heard and their own governor treats them like subjects instead of citizens, then we got a problem. Arkansans aren't asking for miracles here. They're asking for paper ballots. Paper ballots. It's like so old school, it's not even funny. But it's the transparency that they're asking for trust. They want to see that their vote still means something, and somehow that's controversial? I don't get it. But paper ballots aren't a conspiracy demand, they're a cry for clarity. Arkansas folks don't want kings or queens, they want proof. Proof their vote counts, their voices matter, and their government isn't making decisions 3 steps ahead of them. When citizens have to fight for what should already be theirs, that's when a democracy starts to cough up blood. The separation of powers wasn't written for the good days. It was written for the temptations of power, like what's happening now. And the governor executes, she doesn't legislate. The legislator writes, it doesn't obey. But right now, every branch in Arkansas looks like it's waiting for orders from the same office. And that's not leadership, that's control. And once you normalize that, you can kiss accountability goodbye. Checks and balances aren't speed bumps, they're guardrails. And when one branch steering all 3, the crash is inevitable. And here's the shift no consultant saw coming. Arkansas conservatives are redefining conservatism. The old guard built its power on loyalty. It's yet to be determined what the new guard is built on. And that's up to y'all. That's up to the voters. It's up to the grassroots folks. Is the GOP built on money and backroom deals? Or is it built on honesty and transparency? And that is a decision that the voters are going to have to make. And let me be absolutely clear. Do not think for 1 minute that the machine will remember you or your loyalty, because it will throw you under the bus faster than Joe Biden can sniff your hair. I know it's happened to me. It's a very strange feeling in the air right now, though, and you can feel it on Facebook threads, in conversations. Some of those conversations I bet are starting with, I never thought I'd say this, but anyway, the crazy thing about all this is that we're so used to fighting the Democrats. Like the way that we're fighting now, our own people, our own members of the same party. Like it reminds me of when the Tea Party movement started. It was a different feeling. And I don't think this is the party splitting up. I think it's the party shedding its skin. The machine wants control. The Sarah Huckabee Sanders machine wants the control. The movement wants accountability. And history tells us which one wins, eventually. While the governor's office strategizes its next headline, real life keeps happening. Rural hospitals are closing. Teachers are quitting. Families can't afford medicine. That's the cost of control. Every ounce of energy spent protecting political image is energy stolen from fixing real problems. Every bit of energy that these politicians put into making themselves look good is a moment that is being taken away from lifting up the people in the state, which is their job to do. That's why they're elected. Like, we didn't elect them to go out and build their political careers off of the backs of Arkansans. So that's the part that really frustrates me. Leadership means listening to the uncomfortable truths, not silencing the people who say them. Like, I'm sure at some point they'll try to silence me. Go for it. You'll never find out where I'm at. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But if transparency feels like an attack, maybe the problem isn't the question. Maybe it's the answers. So where do we go from here? We stop waiting for redemption from politicians who broke the bond. We rebuild ourselves. You run for local office. You audit your county spending. You keep demanding those FOIA requests and open records. Trust isn't restored by speeches. It's rebuilt by citizens who remember they're the boss. Like, you're the boss. The governor can't fix this issue. Like, she can't fix it. She's not the cure. She's literally the cautionary tale. She's the problem. The real fix is you, the voter who shows up. Power only works when the people forget they are the ones that really have it. In Arkansas, you need to remember that it's you. You hold the power. Sarah Huckabee Sanders calls herself a governor of the people, but she's governing like a ruler. Like, her job isn't to command us, it's to represent us. The people don't work for her, she works for the people. And when leaders forget that, government stops being a service. And it starts being a stage play, like a performance for donors and headlines instead of a dialogue with its citizens. When's the last time that you saw Sarah Huckabee Sanders have a conversation with citizens instead of a press conference? I mean, I may be wrong, but, I don't see everything. But real leadership doesn't fear accountability. It welcomes it because a governor who truly serves the people doesn't hide behind talking points. The governor who stands for the people stands beside the people, demanding answers. Demanding answers. But again, that is her only background. A spin doctor, is why I felt that she wasn't qualified to be governor, and I'll keep saying it because I keep saying these things and I keep being proven right, and y'all just keep not listening to me. Ever. Ever. Like with healthcare. I digress. But again, smoothing a crisis after crisis after crisis over and managing the message to the people, to me, doesn't sound like a good qualification of a governor. Lying to the people isn't on the list of qualifications for that job of a governor. And that's her qualifications. But I just want to remind you all that there's a reason our founders built separation of powers into every layer of government to keep one branch from owning the rest. And right now in Arkansas, it feels like those checks and balances have been reduced to chess pieces, and the governor's playing both sides of the board. So when the executive branch starts steering the legislature and influencing the courts, that's not leadership, that's control. Like, the whole point of our system is prevent one branch or one person, any one person, from concentrating power. Because when the rules start bending around one office, the people lose their voice. The governor's job isn't to move pieces, it's to respect boundaries. And you don't protect freedom by stacking the board. You protect it by keeping every branch independent and accountable. And if that sounds radical, go read the Constitution. Because that's exactly how it was designed to work. Power belongs to the people, and the governor's supposed to serve under that principle, not stand above it. It's kind of starting to feel like Arkansas has become a political trampoline for anyone with the national ambitions. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders isn't governing like someone rooted here. She's rehearsing for a bigger stage. And let's not even talk about Senator Tom Cotton, because he's already speaking like a presidential candidate while his own state farmers are watching their profits collapse. Arkansas has become their resume. Our schools rank 44th in per student funding. We're 46th in healthcare outcomes. Rural hospitals are closing and small farms are hanging by their fingernails. Yet every headline out of Little Rock or Washington reads like another campaign ad. Ambition itself isn't the crime. It's fine to rise. Everyone has ambition, as long as the state that launched you rises with you. But that's not what's happening. And while Sanders courts national donors and Cotton lectures the world on foreign policy, Arkansas agriculture, the backbone of this economy, is being left to rot. When drought and diesel costs crushed farmers last year, Cotton didn't fight for direct relief. He issued statements, because that's what he does. He's literally the communications position now for the GOP. National. He's like the communications guy. So good luck knocking him out. I'm just saying that's literally, I wanted to run against him, but good luck knocking out Tom Cotton, because he's literally the number 3 guy now. He's worked his way up so far. And I've always said his ambition is to be the president. But, when crop insurance reform stalled, he stayed quiet. But he didn't stay quiet because he was on Fox News. He was on all these networks talking about himself and talking about the GOP and talking about President Trump. But he wasn't talking about Arkansas farmers, to be exact. And that's not representation. That's neglect. So ask yourself, are you okay with that? Are you okay with being the testing ground for someone else's political audition? If you're not, then stop voting like you are. Public service was never meant to be a career ladder. It was supposed to be a stewardship. Love of a state isn't a slogan. It's a responsibility. And if you leave Arkansas weaker than you found it, that's not leadership. That's looting. Okay, so I'm going to get off that topic for a minute because I get so fired up. I get so worked up about it. And we are going to stay on the whole trust theme. So now we're going to move on to the whole Arkansas State Rep David Ray and Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin. Epic optical fail. I'll start by saying this. I know both these men. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know the optics are really brutal here. Attorney General Tim Griffin and Representative David Ray of Arkansas are people I've respected for years. I've seen their commitment up close, and I know their work. I know their work ethic. So this isn't coming from a place of politics. It's coming from a place of disbelief, because what's happening right now should have been seen coming a mile away. Like, here's the timeline. Tim Griffin served in Congress from 2011 to 2015. When he became lieutenant governor, David Ray was right there with him as his chief of staff. Loyal, organized, effective. When Ray won his own seat in the Arkansas House in 2021, that relationship didn't end. It evolved. And not long after Griffin's campaign filings began listing Ray as a campaign employee, the payments were steady, around $10,000 each, and by watchdog accounts, roughly $500,000 total since 2021. So, at the same time, Representative Ray was sponsoring bills that strengthened the Attorney General's office, including Act 154, which expanded the AG's authority and staffing powers. So that's the problem here. One of the biggest problems. In September 2025, ArkLeg Bill Tracker filed a 29-page ethics complaint alleging that Ray accepted more than $130,000 in campaign payments from Griffin's operation during active legislative session. And let's be clear, ArkLeg Bill Tracker's approach does not always seem to be about a crime. It's more about asking whether something still passes the smell test. They bring these things out to the light, and they zero in on what's technically legal but ethically tone deaf, exposing behavior that may satisfy campaign finance statutes, yet erode public trust. Their work lives in the gray zone between law and legitimacy. The space where voters start to wonder, maybe it's legal or maybe it's not so right. So exposing things like that are questionable, and in this case, optical failures, seems to be their forte. But the complaint also points to a tight web of political action committees, PACs, all connected to Griffin's circle. Jobs and Growth PAC, known as JAG PAC, is Griffin's own committee. Base Point PAC, tied to Senator Ben Gilmore, sent Griffin's campaign $6,600, split between primary and general elections, a legal gray zone that critics call a way around contribution limits. Then there's Gilmore's Strategy Group PAC, also linked to Gilmore, cited for over-the-limit donations. These complaint describes these as a cash loop, a network of Griffin-aligned PACs funneling funds between friendly campaigns. Now, I'll still give Tim the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe for a second that he set out to skirt the law, but to not recognize how this looks, that's what shocks me. I'm not naive. I know that politics changes people, but this isn't just about legality, it's about optics. And the optics say the Attorney General of Arkansas has a sitting state legislator on his campaign payroll, a legislator writing laws that directly increase the AG's power. It doesn't matter how you justify it. To voters, it looks like one branch of government cutting checks to the other. It looks like political power paying itself. And Tim, I know you know better than this. You built a career on discipline and image control. And in this case, the optics aren't just bad, they're radioactive. And when it comes to public trust, perception is reality. I'm just Val Emmons here. And if this was just a matter of poor judgment, it's one the Attorney General should have seen before anyone else did. You're really smart, Tim. I don't understand this one. I hope you'll come on and talk to me. You can text me. You still have my number. As I said in the beginning, once trust is eroded, you cannot get that back. Well, I'm Val Emmons. Have a great night.